I believe she made some videos about an Airbnb that she had and all of this other type of stuff. And I think the video that I did a review of about her was how much she make. They had did a breakdown, like her and her sister or something like that, did a breakdown of how much she makes, right? But she recently dropped a video, and the name of the video was something like, is it better to rent or buy? Because she's moving, but she decided to rent, even though she has the ability to be able to buy. And I thought it'd be a good conversation. I haven't seen the video yet, but I think that it would be worth having a conversation about it because there's a lot of conversation going on about affordability, renting, buying, and all of this stuff. And I have a different perspective or a different mentality when it comes to renting and buying. And so I thought it would be worth watching this video and reviewing it together.
After about a year of searching, I am finally moving to a bigger place. And contrary to what I thought when I first started looking, I decided to rent instead of buy. A year ago, I was determined to buy because if you have the money to do it, it's what you do in America, right? It's a sign of success and it's always the best investment, right? This is so ingrained in many of us, we're blinded to the fact that it's not always true anymore. I'm going to explain why I decided to sign a lease and rent for another year, even though I technically could buy, and why I think this is the better financial decision for me. The first reason I decided not to buy and instead sign a new lease is because when I actually ran the numbers, it wasn't the best investment. And this was hard for me to wrap my mind around because for many years, buying was a great investment. Really for much of the past 50 years and even as early as 2021. If you bought a place, your monthly cost would be the same, if not slightly cheaper, than the cost to rent a comparable place. But this is just not the case anymore. With where prices and interest rates are currently, usually the monthly mortgage cost would be much higher than a comparable unit for rent. When you actually run the numbers, it's pretty surprising. So take this condo, for example, that is in the $800,000 price range. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, about 1,000 square feet. And this is pretty typical of what you'll find in this price point in Los Angeles.
Is that what y'all paying? Y'all paying 800 bands for 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom condo? Y'all are getting finessed, and y'all got to pay property taxes, and y'all give up a percentage of y'all income as far as the highest income taxes in the United States of America. Man, y'all smoking crack, bro. No way. No way under on God's green earth. And y'all got bad squatters laws, and y'all probably got to pay HOAs. Ain't no way on God's green earth. I know y'all love that California weather, that Los Angeles weather. Ain't no way on God's green earth that I'm buying a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom condo for 1,000 square feet in Los Angeles for $800,000. You smoking crack, bro. I can't swing it. I can't see it. But let's continue.
For a place like this, the monthly mortgage is nearly $6,000 a month because of today's 7% interest rate. Meanwhile, there are plenty of 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartments that are arguably more updated. You can see the floors in the kitchen do look more modern in this one, that are less expensive. This one is renting for $4,500 a month. Not to mention, you also have that down payment that you could leave in the stock market. There's the opportunity cost of that as well. So for this place, it's a $160,000 down payment, and if you're getting the average stock market return, that's $16,000 per year that you're losing out on. Not to mention, if you're saving $1,500 a month because it's cheaper to rent, you can invest that as well. And in 5 years, you would have nearly $400,000. And so the question.
So that she actually did a really good breakdown.
Well, and in 5 years, you would have nearly four.
So basically, what she's saying, because a lot of times people don't pay attention to the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is the opportunity to be able to own it, to be able to put your name on it, right? I don't look at a place that you live at as an investment. I just don't. I don't look at a place that you put over your head that you're actually living in as an investment. I look at a stock market as an investment. I look at investing in a company as an investment. I look at starting a specific business as an investment. I look at owning real estate that you're renting out to other people, that you're generating income as an investment. I don't look at a home that you live in as an investment. Now, if you want to have a conversation about how much you can customize it, whether or not you want to have maintenance and all of this stuff, then that's a completely different conversation. But even if you just look at the opportunity cost, meaning the amount that you're making every single year as far as a 10% return on your money, which is not unheard of in this particular market. As a matter of fact, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you probably should be getting at least a 12 to 13% return on your money if you join in the Patreon and Stock Club. You're basically saving by taking that $160,000 plus $1,500 that you saving on not buying the place on top of a 10% return. And you basically, after a certain amount of time, you sitting on close to $400,000 that you could have kept in your pocket versus front loading a mortgage in which you're going to be paying the majority of it in interest over to a mortgage company, over to a bank. And so this is why we say that, hey, listen, just because you're buying instead of renting, don't mean that you're coming out ahead. Just because you're buying because instead of renting does not mean that you're coming out ahead. You also got to factor in maintenance. You also got to factor in repairs. You also got to factor in property taxes. You also, if you have it, have to factor in HOA fees. And so there's a lot of costs that we don't take into accountability, right? There's downfalls, King, and there's pros and there's cons. It depends. It depends on how long you live in it. It depends on the area that you buy. It depends on whether or not you can get a better return for your money. It depends on if you decide that you want to leave within the next 3 to 4 years and you've only front loaded it. And then now you depending on the property to appreciate, and you're not even taking into consideration the 3 to 6% that you got to pay to the realtor. You're not even taking into consideration the 3 to 6% that you're paying into the realtor. When you really start understanding the game, then you know how to start to get to the point where you can write certain things off. And I'm not just talking about the interest on a mortgage. I'm not just talking about the taxes. I'm talking about corporate apartments and stuff like that, right? If your business can justify certain things, then you really starting to save and get into the money. But again, it's not that buying is bad, but it's that we just automatically, without doing the numbers, without paying attention to the opportunity cost, without paying attention to the long-term ramifications, impacts, maintenance, all of this stuff, we're not really taking everything into accountability. We don't take everything. I would never buy a place in Los Angeles. Would I go and create content in Los Angeles for 4 to 5 months? Absolutely. It's a different game. It's a 100% different game when you're going over to some place to create a content house and to create a studio over there so that you can create content and do certain things, if you know what I mean, if you can read between the lines. I would never actually go and buy a place in Los Angeles. It's a different thing. But that's just me personally. That's me personally.
$100,000. And so the question is always, does buying beat that return? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. What I realized is with both of the places that I actually put offers in on, it was very close. It was not a no-brainer that buying was better. It was like, maybe not though. Because the thing is, there's a lot more factors than just the monthly mortgage cost versus the rent cost. There's home appreciation, the fact that rents can go up, the tax benefits of owning. It's actually a lot more complicated to determine if it is truly a good investment to buy versus rent. The New York Times actually made a really good rent versus buy calculator that takes into account all of these things, like the tax benefits of owning and the fact that rent increases. And in this specific scenario, renting was always just a little bit better, even if you held it for 30 years. And this calculator isn't even taking into account that you might be investing the difference in what you save by renting. It also doesn't take into account that if you buy, you could potentially refinance later, but still it gives you a pretty good idea of if it's truly better to buy versus rent, which in most cases, better to rent. So for it to make sense as an investment, you need the appreciation to outpace those stock market gains. And when I looked at the data of what I wanted to buy, I didn't think it would. Houses always appreciate, don't they? Not super well for condos and townhouses. Personally, what I was looking at buying was a condo or a townhouse, because in LA, to get a single family house, you're starting at $1.7 million.
Sub me out, coach. Coach, I think I injured my ankle. Coach, I think I just injured my ankle, coach. I think I twisted my ankle. I want to be careful. I want to make sure that it's not an Achilles tear or that I don't have a sprained left knee. Sub me out, coach. Sub me out. Take me out the game. Take me out the game. First of all, I believe that getting a condo, anything with an HOA, especially a condo, especially in a building, especially to all of that stuff, count me out, coach. Those are some of the worst investments that you can make is buying a condo or a townhouse. I'm just gonna tell you right now, bro. To get into a home that you are going to be paying property taxes, let me just look at this really quickly. Give me a second. I want to just see something real quick. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it, bro. I just can't, bro. I can't justify it. I can't justify it, bro. Home price 1.7 million. Let's say you got 100,000 to put down, 30-year fixed. You're going to be paying 10. Your mortgage is going to be $9,593 a month. Taxes is $1,000 a month, and home insurance is $100 a month, and your home could break down or burn down, and your home can burn down. If you buy a 1.7, let's say for example you put $340,000 down, and here you know what the worst part about it is. If you put 20% down in order to avoid PMI, because you're still gonna have to pay PMI, you put $340,000 down, you're gonna be paying $9,249 a month, and you bet not lose your job, and you're gonna be living in a 1,500, 1,400 square foot shack, 1,400 square foot shack, and you got to make sure that your house don't burn down. I'm not doing this foolishness. You can miss me with this nonsense, bro. Nope. 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 I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You are going to be out here dusty. I wonder how good that California weather is. Is it still weather? A $1.7 million house is the same as a $300,000 house in Milwaukee. Down payment 64,000, 30-year fit. I mean in Ohio. Or you can pay $1,800 a month and then just go visit whenever you want to. With the savings that you have. The savings that you have, right? The difference between $1,800 a month and $10,000 a month. With the savings, you can go and visit there. You can literally go and visit there every single month for 2 weeks straight. Your mortgage is $1,500, and then your taxes is $187 and $104 a month. I can't do it, bro. I'm just not built like that. I'm just not doing it. I refuse. I refuse. But I know some of y'all is big. Y'all big dog. Go do your thing.
And also, I personally just like the security of a building. I don't think I would sleep very well at night in a single family house in LA. It's just a personal thing. I just know myself and I wouldn't. Single family houses do historically appreciate pretty well, like 4% a year. But condos and townhouses, not the same. In fact, Redfin's data showed in the last 5 years, condos only appreciated 0.7% per year, which is unusually low. I like to go in and look at the particular building I'm interested in and see how other units appreciated. Oftentimes, it was about 2 to 3% a year. Sometimes they lost money. If somebody bought in 2021 and was now trying to sell, they were losing money. So this was another realization I had, was condos just are really not a great investment.
Never.
I have a real estate license, so I
tell y'all all the time, do not buy a condo. Anton, I want to get a condo out here in Florida. Man, look at this. Look at all of these buildings, man. Look at all of this water. Look at all of this. Man, if you don't sit your butt down, sit down. Big, hey, calm down. Brrr. Calm down, doggy. I know you really want it. I know they keep telling you it's a great deal. Stop. Don't do it.
Worked in real estate a little bit. I've had some listings, and I had a listing and the owner owned the condo for 2 years and wanted to sell. They actually were going to lose money if they sold it. A lot of times the case with condos, I think people are disappointed with the appreciation not really being very good. This is something a lot of real estate agents won't tell you because they just want you to buy something to get the commission. But I'm a YouTuber first and foremost, so I don't really care. And so if you are living in a building, if you're going for that lifestyle like I am, you can usually rent them for cheaper and get a better return. Keeping that down payment in the stock market, you may end up in a better spot in, say, 5 years to buy a single family house instead. I could bore you guys with the numbers of this all day, but basically, buying could be an okay investment. You can make it make sense when you factor in the tax benefits more than anything. But the bigger thing was I couldn't find something in my price range I really was excited to buy and commit to for 5 to 10 plus years. The fact of the matter is the inventory in LA in the $1 million price range.
Look at that POS. Are y'all seeing that? Are you seeing the white stove and the white refrigerator with the handles that's been worn? It's so dusty over there, and the stuff is so out of control from a price perspective. They don't even change the appliances for y'all because they know that y'all gonna buy it anyway. Get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here, man. I'm not doing this. Nah, y'all good. Y'all good. That's the hood, bro. That's the hood. As far as I'm concerned, that ain't nothing but the hood. Nope. 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 I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, y'all, on your own. You know what my suggestion to y'all would be? Let me tell you what my suggestion is. Forget all of that nonsense. My suggestion to y'all would be to practice group economics and get married and live with somebody that you don't have to take care of, that actually likes to pull their weight, that adds value into the relationship, and go get you a roommate and go move back in with your parents. It's a fun, bro. Y'all need to fall back in love with your parents. Honest to God, you need to fall back in love. The same way that you're gonna do what you got to do for that guy that's busting you down because you know that he's still making sure that your bills is paid. You need to go fall back in love with your parents. Go fall back in love with your parents and start making better decisions, bro. Bruh. Honestly, start practicing group economics, save a bunch of money, throw the rest of it into the stock market, make smart investments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You need to get better friends that you don't mind living with. Honestly, bro, y'all need to start practicing. When we say practice group economics, we're not talking about you start your own business and you go out there and say, hey, man, I'm a black business. Come and support me. No, I'm talking about, hey, listen, man, it's cheaper for me to live. You know, I get a bedroom, you get a bedroom, and we split the costs. And long as you ain't got no pets in my room and stuff like that, we can figure it out, bro. All of these living standards is overrated. It's very, 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 very overrated. It's so overrated. But again, it's based off of your lifestyle. I'd rather travel, spend my money on traveling and investments. I'll buy a $500,000 house and be happy with that at my income level. I'm okay with buying a $500,000 house and getting the cars I want and the lifestyle that I want because I'd rather do what's best for me and not what's best for everybody else. Because I'm the only person that's got to live there.